Hey, good morning, Georgia. It's Thursday, and Faith, you know what that means.
Community focus time.
Community focus. We travel around the state every Thursday to some of the hidden gems in Georgia, cities that aren't on expressways, that maybe people haven't had a chance to go to. And today we are going to Elberton, Georgia. Faith, you been to Elberton?
I have been to Elberton. I have been to see the Granite and see the
Uh-huh.
guide stones, and
Oh, you saw the Guidestones?
I have seen the
Yeah.
guide stones.
Yeah, I remember in college, I think it's a Brown magazine or something. I remember reading an article about the Guidestones. And I mean, I was president of the Baptist Student Union. Okay. So I'm not some, you know, some cultic freak. Okay. But I had to see these things. So I went out and went through the cow pasture and and saw the Guidestones. So we're going to talk about that. That's obviously not the most important thing coming out of of Elberton. So, hey, we're privileged to have Mayor Daniel Graves here today. Mayor, how's it going?
Good, Commissioner. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, Phil Pitts. Phil, you and I've been. Wow, you helped me find that little hidden EV charger that you had back in 2015. I was coming out there to speak at a Rotary or something, and needed a charge coming from Athens because there was no way I was going to get back because the car only had a range of like 105 miles. So I needed a wee bit of energy, and you were kind. We're going to talk about some of the clean energy sustainability stuff going on in the area. Thank you for being on today.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Chris Kubas, Chris is with the Elberton Granite Association. And folks, I tell you, Georgia is just such a rich state in terms of natural resources. Whether it's our kaolin down in Middle Georgia, our granite up in Elberton, our coast and our marsh. There's just so many cool things. So, Chris, good to have you on today.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, we're going to drop everybody to the green room except the mayor for a minute. Mayor, you're an elected official. I'm an elected official. Constituent services and taking care of our folks, it matters. You enjoy being in public office?
Sure. I when I went the typical path where you graduate high school, you go off to college, and you say, I'm never coming back home. And the reality of it, if it is that Elberton's a hard place to leave. I mean, the people are so good, and if you're raising a family. And when I came back, I wanted to serve. I wanted to get involved. I spent 13 years working for the hospital. I served as chairman of the hospital authority. And the only thing, with all due respect to energy policy, that's more difficult is rural health care. That's like trying to herd cats, and you're beg, borrowing, and stealing to do whatever you can to do to keep the doors open. But that was my first foray into public service, and we ran the course. I'm real proud of what we accomplished at our rural hospital, and I've had a lot of these with folks like Andy Miller over at Georgia Health News and talking about our hospital. But it was time we'd run our course, and I wanted to try something different. So that's how I got involved with the city. I had worked as assistant city attorney for 6 years in a prior life, and that's really how I fell in love with our great town. I mean, I could go on for way longer than you want me to, but we punch above our weight class on so many levels, and energy is definitely one of those areas that we punch above our weight class. Real proud of it.
You have so many granite-related businesses, and we're going to talk to Chris in a bit about it. But if you go to Lexington, Kentucky, Faith, you're a horse girl. You have horses, and my daughter has a horse. You go to Lexington, Kentucky, you're sitting in a restaurant, and you just stop and listen to conversations, and you hear conversations about horses. I bet you in Elberton, you hear lots of conversations about the granite business, don't you?
Sure. There's no denying the place that Granite has, not just in our economic system or but just in our definition of who we are as a community. Now, we have a lot more than just the granite industry, and so we're proud of that as well. But But no, Granite is just essentially who it is, and it's symbolic, of what I say, punching above our weight class. We have been blessed with men and women of extreme foresight, people that could look at our natural resources and our capacity as a community and what we could do with our water, with our minerals. And the granite industry was founded by visionary leaders that saw something, and it is run today by visionary men and women. It's an extremely capable group. I was teasing in the green room about the guidestones. Everybody wants to talk about the guidestones, but I think if you look at the production quality of what we're producing, if you look at the technological innovation that the granite industry has seen, it's space age stuff, and our guys are, we're a rural small town, and a lot of our granite guys look kind of rough around the edges, but the reality is they're cutting edge businessmen and women that are doing tremendous things.
Faith, who doesn't like the granite countertop these days, right?
I got granite countertops in my new house. I did that leathered finish, so it's kind of textured, and I love my granite countertops.
Yeah. Mayor, tell us about some of the other businesses that you've got in and around the town that is not related to the granite business.
Sure. So, one of the businesses we're most proud of, was Bubba Burger. If you've ever had a Bubba Burger, every Bubba Burger in America is made right here in Elberton.
I did not know that.
That's right. But the Eves family were well-known meat producers or processors here in Elbert County, and Walter Bubba Eves came up with the concept of the Bubba Burger, a quick, high-grade, quality, 100% ground chuck burger, and sort of walk through the unique freezing process that makes it go from freezer to grill without getting burned and cooking evenly. And they moved the operation here. It was when I was a younger man in college and high school, but no, every Bubba Burger in America is made right here in Elberton. And
wow.
And we also real proud. We have Mahler-Tech is it's a German company that produces plastics for the automotive industry, but they've sandwiched themselves between Mercedes and BMW in Greenville and in Alabama, and they are growing. They now occupy a building in our industrial park, but they also have rented a second building off-site because they're growing. I don't know off the top of my head their exact numbers, but it's close to 200 employees now. They're providing for, and another major industry for us is our hospital. I don't mean to harp on it, and I am biased, but it's employs 200 people. We were doing well before COVID. We sort of pulled ourselves out of the gutter before COVID, but that's a critical part of our economic plan, and the list goes on and on. But those are a few highlights.
Yeah, I want to bring Phil Pitts into the conversation. Phil can speak, to more broadly what's going on in Elbert County with sustainability. But first, Mayor, I want to start with you about your dedicated recycling center. I know that recycling, reusing things is important because as we fill up landfills, when we fill up a landfill, we have to go another 30 miles out and make another one. And then that means 30 more miles of diesel that way, 30 more miles of diesel back. And you know what diesel is at $5 a gallon. And what that means is when we fill up landfills, everybody's trash bill goes up. And so you guys have this dedicated recycling center. Tell me a little bit about what you can recycle at your recycling center.
So, most all of the commonly recyclable items we take, plastics, glass. We actually have a large bulk metal depository for refrigerators, washers, dryers, those awkward things that you don't really know. We've been doing this for over 20 years. We took an initiative, a conscious effort as a community to think about where does the trash go. We did curbside pickup for a long time. Unfortunately, with some staffing issues in the pandemic, we've kind of had to press pause on that. We do hope to maybe get that started back up soon. But we have a dedicated recycling center, Monday through Friday. open during normal hours, where you can bring, your glass, your cardboard, all of your commonly recycled stuff. And then we also have some compost where we do our leaf and limb pickup, that where people can take advantage of some of our leaf and limb and use some of that compost for projects if they need to. And we try to stay ahead of the curve, just like we do on everything else. We're real proud of that. Water, one thing also we didn't talk about, Commissioner, is we produce a lot of water. We have a tremendous surplus of water that we use. We actually we pipe that now, some of that to Madison County, but they have the waste to energy plant there in Calvert. We actually provide the water to the Madison County Water Authority for that waste to energy plant. And because the water gets slightly calcified, it has to be treated following the use. We actually, while they're building their long-term solution of treating that water, we have been treating that water for them. We actually pipe, or we actually run tanker trucks back and forth every day, getting that water. And so we sell them the water, and then they have to, we have to come and pick it up and take it back, and we treat it for them. So we're real proud of our capacity. And once again, we've been doing that for a very long time. We built our treatment plant back in the 40s. We're currently going a 750,000 gallon additional clean tank that we're putting in. So we take a lot of pride in taking care of that resource as well.
Phil, I guess back in 2015, I had a Kia Soul electric vehicle. Then that was my third one. I've since turned that one in off the lease, but I was speaking out in your community, and I needed to get a charge, and I reached out to you guys, and you had a little secret charger that I was able to use.
Well, we installed a charger here at the county complex, 2015. I guess I was the initiator behind that because I had started driving a Nissan Leaf. And even though I charged at home, it dawned on me that there could be people passing through Elberton that would need the opportunity to get a charge or some charging. So I got it worked out with our facility staff. We got a unit. We got it hooked up, and I believe you may have used it in early days. We replaced it with a little better model, a Clipper Creek. And sometime later, in conversation with the city of Elberton, I was very proud that they were willing to go in with us at a unit at the county courthouse. So the city of Elberton and the Elbert County government, we put in a dual unit there at the courthouse. And I check on it occasionally, and always very pleased when I see a car out there plugged into it and getting some additional charge. Occasionally I get some here over at our complex. It's just not quite as often.
Yeah, Mayor, it scares me to death that with all this infrastructure money coming down from Washington, that we may have people that have never driven an electric vehicle making policy decisions about electric vehicles. And so Phil has made, the point that I'm making constantly is that you need people who have experience with the technology to be able to create public policy that really is effective. And with what he did, and then being able to get those additional chargers, that's a really cool thing. Phil, as you guys are doing some countywide recycling as well, similar to what the city's doing, right?
That is correct. We have a number of locations spread out throughout the county that are fenced in facilities, and you can take in trash, but also we have recycling bins there, as well as we have one here just right outside my office. It's a little rough looking, but cardboard, it'll fill up with cardboard fairly quickly. We happen to use a lot with the county, and other people come through. I see them outside. We're pleased to have them at our various locations around, including at the city of Bowman. And we collect glass, we collect cardboard, we collect plastic, and some of them we have a place for heavier units, like you say, washing machines and things of that nature. So and they provide a lot of information and a lot of use.
Hey, let's bring Chris into our conversation. Chris is with the Granite Association, the Elberton Granite Association. Chris, you heard the question I asked the mayor about the conversations about granite, but your world is granite, isn't it?
It is. Yes, that's what we do.
Yeah. And how many granite related businesses do you have in the city, in the county?
So in our association, I've got approximately 85 businesses. They fluctuate as some maybe leave or new ones come in, but about 85 granite related businesses. And that is everything from standalone quarry operations to manufacturing plants, and then ancillary services that provide different single stage operation services to our granite industry. So we might have design houses or tool makers or industrial maintenance type businesses that all service the granite industry.
And Mayor, doesn't your high school there, don't you have like the Granite Bowl or, I mean, everything in Elberton's made out of granite, isn't it?
Oh, listen, the Granite Bowl is it's amazing. If you've never laid eyes on it, you're missing. It's without a doubt the greatest high school football stadium in America. There's just nothing else like it. Nothing.
Wow. And I mean, you guys have curbing this granite. I mean, any place that you could use ready mix concrete, you guys have substituted granite, haven't you? Chris?
Well, listen, we have a tremendous business in town, Turner Concrete, that does an amazing job with our ready mix. But the granite curbing really is amazing. We the salt on the roads, especially up north, can deteriorate that concrete in just a matter of years, short years. But the granite lasts forever. And we actually have a company in Elberton. All they do is make granite curbing, and they send it all over the northeastern United States and beyond.
Actually,
By the way,
two.
Mr.
We've got
Eccles,
two
in
companies
addition,
that do that.
Yeah.
in addition to having the Granite Bowl, we also have the Rock Gym. We have a gymnasium that is built out of granite. It's something to see.
Now, I just have to ask, the flooring in the gymnasium is not granite,
Oh,
right?
no.
Because
no.
that would be a problem.
It is definitely not.
But we do have.
I played in that gymnasium, by the way, in high school basketball.
Yeah, Faith, in heaven, the streets are paved with gold, but in Elberton, everything's granite.
Everything's granite.
Gold. Who needs gold when you've got granite? Right, Chris?
Absolutely. It is gold up here.
Chris, let me ask you about, making a headstone or making curbing or any kind of countertop. Does working with granite, it's heavy, right? So it involves cranes, it involves saws. What's involved in order to be able to handle granite?
Well, our vein of granite that we sit on here is 35 miles long. It's about 6 miles wide, and it's about 2 to 3 miles in solid rock depth. And we currently probably have about 40 active quarries in operation throughout what we call our 5 granite district, which is Elberton, Madison, Oglethorpe, Greene, and Wilkes County. Those quarries, they are dimensional quarries, which means that they actually cut out a dimensional square block. That block is then loaded onto a truck and it's brought into Elberton. Most of our manufacturers are here within the city, and those manufacturers then take that block and they saw it down into various thicknesses and do whatever's needed to complete that order, whether it's polishing or sandblasting it or cutting it in a specific way to make a monument that is then sold to a retailer throughout the country. And that retailer then in turn sells it to an end-use customer.
I know in Bogart, we've got a headstone company probably using Elberton granite, right? And so they're doing the finishing work, right? When they sell a headstone, they then, engrave a person's name in it? Is that kind of how it works? They don't do that final work in Elberton. They
No, we do it here. Yeah, we do
You
all
do?
that. Yeah, most retailers rely on us to do the finished work and make a custom monument for one of their end use customers. We're shipping out approximately 2/3 of all the headstones in the United States come out of Elberton.
Wow.
My goodness, Bubba Burgers.
Yeah.
2/3 of the headstones in America. That's pretty incredible. Obviously, you've got heavy energy use there. In fact, I had one of your companies call me and they said, yeah, we're on real-time pricing. We shut down operations at 2:00, June, July, August, shut down at 2 and restart at 7 in order to save energy. And because they were on a special pricing that gave them heavily discounted power in the morning and in the evening, but during those hot summer afternoons, they were paying a little bit more, and they were arbitraging, the power to basically, make more money at the company. It was very clever. So that was one of the calls I'd gotten, Chris. Do you get a lot of questions from your members or a lot of comments about energy and energy cost?
Well, sure. I mean, that's a big part of the operation. And, the city does a great job of providing those utility services to us. Elberton has a great utility section, and it does a great job. If we have problems, they're troubleshooting it and fixing it within not even an hour, within minutes, really, of when we make a call. So we're very lucky to have that here to augment our industry.
Mayor
Commissioner Eccles, if I could comment about energy, this is something
Yes.
that had not come up, but about 6.5 miles from my house, there is currently a solar panel project, 40 megawatts, over 125,000 photovoltaic panels being developed right now as we speak. So it's going to generate a tremendous amount of power that will be useful not only to the community, but into the state of Georgia. Very
Yeah.
proud to have that.
Mayor, what utilities does the city provide residents?
So we've been at the forefront of everything since 1895 when we put our first electric plant out on the Beaver Dam Creek. But we offer electric, natural gas, high-speed internet, which we are about to celebrate 21 years. Everybody's talking about infrastructure. We put in fiber. In fact, we're doing we just partnered with the county to expand services. We should have about 93% of the county covered when we're finished, but we're doing fiber to the home, and except for making the fiber itself, we do everything in house. We are cutting edge, state of the art when it comes to that. But we do high speed internet, we do water, we do sewer. If there's a service, pretty much we provide it. We take a lot of pride in electricity. That's our keystone of what we're doing. When it comes to the granite industry, one thing we've really worked over the last several years with some of the specific, the specific companies about how to plan their usage, to talk about how they, instead of coming in the morning and cutting on all the saws at one time, staging their, how they do that to minimize that, because the load, spread the load out versus take that one surge of a load. We've worked on that. Our electrical department has worked with multiple companies about identifying the proper motor they should be using for this particular saw, to help them get the most bang for their energy buck. We're extremely proud. We're a founding member of MEAG. MEAG was, in fact, the better part of a brainchild of a gentleman named Cliff Adams. He was an attorney here in Elberton, and he worked with various communities, and he preached the concept of owning, having an ownership interest in the production of electricity versus just buying it through the wholesale market to give us more stability, more predictability in our pricing. So we've been at the cutting edge of that, but we take a lot of pride in, we own a piece of Vogel. We, through MEAG, we own a piece of their various other plants. We're also members with SEPA. That's something I don't think people realize, that Elberton has its very own federal agency housed right here. The Southeastern Power Administration is headquartered in Elberton, Georgia, and was once again instigated by visionary leaders within this community. But Southeastern Power sells every kilowatt of hydroelectric energy produced in the southeastern United States on Corps of Engineer property or federally owned locks and dams. That electricity is sold through SEPA right here in Elberton. We're a contract with them. So about 68%, real quick, 68% of our energy is coming from non-coal sources. So we're real proud of that as well.
Wow. Well, look, my day job is calling me. I've got to go downstairs and do the committees here in 3 minutes. So I want to thank the mayor. I want to thank Phil and Chris for being here today. Faith, where are we going next week?
Next week we will be in Hartwell. And then the week after that, we'll be down a little closer to me in Watkinsville. And then we'll start off May in Lincolnton.
Great. So we're up there in Eastern Georgia. Well, folks, you got to go to Elberton. I mean, go out and eat a Bubba Burger tonight, over Easter weekend. Get you those Bubba Burgers. I suggest the ones that had the Vidalia onion already kind of in. That's good. Guys, thanks a lot. Have a wonderful Good Friday tomorrow and a great Easter weekend. Appreciate you being on.
Thanks so much, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah.